Tonight we're having a good Christmas roast for dinner. But before that, let's have a good plant roast. Happy Vlogmas Day 25. You spent 25 days with me. I spent 25 days with you. Thank you so much for hanging out and being here all of the 25 days. So today for day 25, I figured it would be just so much fun to do a plant roast. We're gonna take a look at some rare, expensive plants that don't live up to the hype on screen, because I honestly don't own any of these plants. I only see them on screen, and on screen, they just don't look great. So this is just for fun, no hard feelings. If you own these plants, if you want these plants, no hard feelings. This is just lighthearted humor from my side of the plant room. I figured we should end Vlogmas with a good laugh, being that the last video I was crying. This one, let's laugh. Let's have a good time. I'm probably gonna get more thumbs down in this video than I do my other videos that I have. So the first roast we're gonna do is the Hoya carnosa Madara Snow Angel. Believe it or not, I don't think that plant is pretty. I've not seen this plant in person. I've only seen it online. The leaves on that plant look a little pimply. It has a bumpy look to it in not a pretty way. I don't like the variegation on it. I love when variegation looks like a brush stroke. That is just beautiful and gorgeous. That's what I look for. Maybe that's what I'm used to in a variegation. I'm not used to having it look like ink blotches. I'm used to it looking like brush strokes. And for the price, it is outrageous. Outrageous. I could never really spend that much money on a plant. And people seem to go nuts over it. I've seen so many people on Instagram going bonkers over this plant. I think maybe, I was gonna say after a while, maybe I would learn to like it, but no, maybe if I see it in person, I might like it, but I don't know. I know what a Hoya leaf feels like, and that plant, it just doesn't feel good at all. It doesn't feel good. It feels too bumpy to me. From what I see right now on social media, it's not one of my favorites. Okay, so for the next plant number 2, it's going to be a bit of a shocker for everyone who watches my channel. It is going to be the variegated snowcap begonia. Yep. So now I will admit that is a beautiful plant. I will admit that. Unlike the snow angel that we just saw, I don't think that's beautiful, but I think the variegated snowcap begonia is very beautiful. However, when I look at that price of that plant, it instantly takes the prettiness away. It also takes my joy away too. Why? Because I owned a regular snowcap begonia and it did terrible for me. I know exactly the problems I had with the regular one, and to own a variegated one with that price, definitely can't do it. I don't want to do it. Even if I get it for free, I would have a hard time doing it because I would probably kill that plant, and then knowing how much it cost, I would have a hard time. So I definitely do not want to deal with the same issues again I had with the regular plant to the variegated plant. Not happening. So that's probably the only reason why I'm going to roast this plant, is because of my experience with the regular one, knowing what comes with it. I can't do it. Plant number 3. It is the variegated ZZ Raven. Okay, so I actually think the regular ZZ Raven is drop dead gorgeous, but the variegated version looks very sickly. It looks like it is a overwatered plant. I know when you overwater a plant, how the leaves can look over time. That's kind of what it looks like, and it's permanent. So it kind of looks like it's in a permanent state of root rot. So I don't own a ZZ plant, but if I did, I would stick to the classic. Okay, so the next one is probably going to be no surprise to some people that watches this channel. It is the yellow variegated anthuriums. What? No, that plant is absolutely not beautiful. That one's a hard one for me to own. There is nothing joyful about getting yellow leaves. And then when you think it's a yellow variegation, when do you know the plant is getting yellow leaves? I don't know. I wouldn't know. Could you imagine a new leaf unfurling and it's yellow or fully yellow? Could you imagine that? My heart would sink. I would think that plant is going downhill. I also noticed that these plants permanently live in glass cases because of the high humidity requirements to kind of showcase this plant. Where's the joy in that? And honestly, if you can afford that plant, you might as well get a plant nanny. So the next plant is the, I'm gonna show you the regular plant. I have a regular one in this, and to know that there's a variegated one. Oh, we're all gonna come in here now. Why don't you go lay down, babes? Please go lay down. So the next plant is the Philodendron tortum albo. I don't think so. Okay, I own a regular tortum and that plant is beautiful. I'm gonna bring it for you. Let me bring it for you. Okay, so this is my Philodendron tortum. All right, this is, I think I paid, I don't know, $15 for the tiny plant that came. So a small plant for the albo tortum is $2,000. I have it written down here. $2,989.99. Are you kidding me? And this is why I have a problem with this plant. The variegation is going to be on the leaves. Do you see the size of that leaf? Do you want to see a white variegation on that? This is what's going to make you happy? No. I think a lot of this roast is happening because of the price of the plant. That's really what it is. If that plant was, say, $20, I had no problem of owning it. But I just can't deal with the fact that just the variegation is a little speckle on this little leaf. There's just no way. No, it's going to be roasted. I'm roasting that plant. I seen that plant recently on Etsy and it was just an outrageous price. I can't. I would rather do something else with that money. The next roast is the variegated Philodendron micans. I don't like it. I don't think it's pretty. I have a regular micans. I'll put some B-roll of that micans up because I can't bring that plant down. It's too big. But the variegated micans looks very sickly. It doesn't have that pep the regular mican does, and the regular micans look so much healthier. The leaves are not deformed on the regular one, but the variegated one, the leaves, every time I see someone showing that plant, there's some kind of deformity to it. That's why it's getting roasted today. I don't think it's pretty, and then a lot of people have to chop the plant back because the plant can lose the variegation. When you have a variegated plant, that variegated plant really puts you to work because you're chopping and repotting, trying to find the variegation again. You're like anxious about, is this going to be variegated or not? Yeah, that's just, it's not for me. So the next one is going to be a shocker. I saw how much this plant was on Etsy. I did a little shopping a few weeks ago and I was looking on Etsy and I'm coming across these Hoyas and I'm like, what? Why is it so expensive? The plant I'm talking about is the Hoya Prism. I think that's how you say it. So I just pulled out my Hoya Crimson Queen the other day and the leaves on that plant looks like what a Prism leaf would look like. Okay, and for $400, no. Okay, so it is beautiful, but you can get the same look from that from a Crimson Queen. I think, maybe my problem is I'm a frugal girl. I have always lived a frugal life. I've repurposed things. Sure, this video is really gonna not do great because I know some people are in love with some of these plants. I just cannot find the love of plants with that price tag attached to it. I can't do it. It's just, I think I live a frugal life. And in order for me to own something like that, I have to wait a very long time. The plants I own right now are plants I actually want, I really want. I've done a purge in summer to get rid of plants that I don't want. So all the plants I have right now, they're plants that mean something to me, that I have an attachment to. If you love these plants, that's amazing. And then if you own them, that's even more amazing. Everyone have different tastes. This is just not my taste. So I hope you got a good laugh from this video. This is just lighthearted humor. Some of these prices to these plants, just too much, outrageous. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for Vlogmas. I am now going to be executing my recovery plan to recover from 25 days of recording, talking, and editing. I'm also excited for what's coming up in 2026. I have a lot in store for you guys. There's a lot of things working behind the scenes if it all comes together. I'm very excited. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for hanging out with me and making this December extra special. I'll see you in 2026. Oh, I cannot believe it's over. What am I gonna do with my life? What am I gonna do?